Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Siti Nur Darwisha binti Zamros with metric number 71636. I would like to present about extraction of lemongrass composition using drying method. Okay, let's start with introduction. For introduction, first of all, about extraction of lemongrass, where we use hydrodistillation. It is used to remove the essential oil. Hydrodistillation, also known as an easiest method for extraction. In evaporation, the mixture involved is water or other solvent and plant material, which is lemongrass. Then the vapor obtained will through liquefaction to convert the vapor into liquid phase. For this experiment, we use sun drying, where is known as the oldest method, also widely used for drying. Usually, this method will be a primary method, especially for food preservation. To dry lemongrass leaf, it should find warm and dry place to avoid losing of its flavor. Next, gas chromatography. It is used to separate and determine the presence of chemical component from the sample mixture. To get effective analysis, the mixture should be volatile to avoid their degrade in the gas chromatography system. And the last point, the GC will hibernate to mass spectrometers to enable identification of chemical components. Then, composition of lemongrass. The presence of composition of lemongrass will differ due to the harvesting stages. At 5.5 months, only 44 compounds are present. Next, 6.5 months, only 15 compounds are present. And the last 7.5 months, only 50 compounds will be present, but only 13 compounds are always present. From the 13 compounds, only 7 of them is detected present with more than 1% of concentration. Next, objective of this experiment is to study effect of sun drying method on essential oil percentage in lemongrass leaf. Second objective is to identify the percentage of essential oil by using extraction method, which is hydrodistillation process. And the last objective is to analyze the composition contained in essential oil of the extraction of lemongrass based on different time of sun drying method using gas chromatography. Okay, that's all. For the next part, I will pass to Sophia.
Next is hypothesis. My name is Maria Lynn Nalam 72318. From this open-ended lab, we have identified 3 hypotheses. First is sun drying method has no effect on essential oils major components, but significantly affect to their percentage, which is the percentage of compositions that on content in essential oils. Second is the longer the time for lemongrass dried under the sun, the higher the percentage of essential oil present. And third is major component that contain in essential oil can be identified using gas chromatography, such as geraniol, nerol, and myrcene. For the procedures, these procedures have been taken from ResearchGate journal that we search on the internet. And firstly, we are going to take 250 grams of lemongrass leaf and put it into 4 different containers, then dry it under the sun for 6 hours, 12, 18, and 24 hours. Basically, we are using one day to make it dry under the sun. Second step is we are going to put the dried leaf in the hydrodistillation process, which we cut into small pieces for 3 hours using clever gauge type apparatus, which shown as the second photos below. And third is anhydrous sodium sulfate is used to dry the extracted essential oils and stored in sealed vials at low temperature, which is set 2 degrees Celsius before analysis. So the sealed vials is the fourth photos, and the sodium sulfate anhydrous is the third photo. Next, to perform gas chromatography, HP6890 GC, which is gas chromatograph, equipped with a fused capillary column. This is the dimensions and the descriptions of the gas chromatography. And then the oven temperature was held at 50 degrees Celsius for 2 minutes and then programmed into 240 degrees Celsius at rate of 8 degrees Celsius per minute. Flame ionization detector FID temperature was at 280 degrees Celsius and injector temperature was 240 degrees Celsius. So this photos attached is the gas chromatograph. Okay, next is nitrogen was used as a carrier gas with a linear velocity of 30 ml per minute, and the percentage of compounds that present in essential oils were calculated by the area normalization method without considering response factors. Gas chromatography, also known as mass spectroscopy, analyses are conducted using variant 240 gas chromatography MS system equipped with this capillary column and the film thickness, and also the temperature and flow rates. Lastly, the components of the oils were identified by comparisons of their mass spectra with those of a computer library or with identical compounds. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, my name is Sofia Kong, metric number 72695. So I'm gonna presenting for the variables and safety and precautions for our open-ended lab proposal. And the manipulated variable is the time taken for lemongrass leaf is dry under the sun for 6 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours, and 24 hours. The responding variable is the percentage of lemongrass composition using gas chromatography, and the constant variable is drying method, which we will be using sun drying method. The safety and precautions. So before entering the lab, we have to wear appropriate safety goggles, gloves, and clothing in handling the chemical substances. Second, keeping the beaker containing chemical solvent covered with plastic wrap when it is not in the hood. And third, disposing waste solvent through regulated disposal program. Fourth, using safety gloves to handle the chromatography paper. This is to avoid that the paper being contaminated by the substances on our fingerprint. And fifth, storing the organic solvent in fireproof, banded, and clearly labeled cabinet. The precaution operating flame ionization detectors
keeping away from hot surfaces, spark, open flames, and other ignition sources. Second, avoiding release to the environment. And precaution operating barium 240 GCMS system by performing periodic checks on all supply lines and pneumatic plumbing. Then avoiding the gas line to become punctured or kinkered. Place line away from foot traffic and extreme heat or cold. And that's all from us. Thank you.